Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The song is called Kafful Mayay. Hey. It's a Tabu Ley Rochereou composition. It's the song that I'll be translating in this video, but I'll do so after giving you a very short profile of Tabu Ley Rochereou. Born as Pascal Emmanuel Sinamoyi Tabu, but of course later on he gave himself the name Rochereou. I think he named himself after some politician in Europe. Now, Tabu Ley was born on the 13th of November 1940, and unfortunately we lost him on the 30th of November the year 2013. So actually he was born and died in November. Now, this was such a talented musician. You know, when you start talking about the story of Rumba Congolaise, if you want to tell the story of Rumba Congolaise, then of course one of the key stalwarts that you must discuss is Tabu Ley Rochereou, of course, alongside Franco Luambo Makiadi, Varkis Kemangwana Mateta, among others. But these three were even called Les Trois Mousquetiers, the three musketeers. So he was a prolific singer, prolific songwriter. We have credit of about 3,000 songs associated with him, over 250 albums, of course, again with a number of children. That has been said here and there, but let's just say this, that Tabu Ley Rochereou, first of all, was educated. So he went to school, and while at school he would walk in and out of Joseph Legrand Calais Kabasele's African jazz band as a student. But then of course when he finished his education, he was recruited as a full-time member of the African jazz band, like I told you, of Joseph Kabasele Legrand Calais. And he met other serious musicians in African jazz band, just to name two of them, Dr. Nico Kasanda Wamikalai. You can also talk about Manu Dibangu on the saxophone. So just some of the people that Tabu Ley Rochereou professional starts out with, musically speaking. So in fact, in the year 1960, Legrand Calais composed the song Independence Cha 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 and gave it to Tabu Ley Rochereou to sing. So Tabu Ley Rochereou was the lead vocalist on that song, and that is the song that announced Tabu Ley Rochereou to the world. So in 1963, Tabu Ley Rochereau, together with Dr. Nico, left African jazz of Legrand Calais and created their own band called the African Fiesta. And of course they were a bit rebellious. The beat that they brought, the pace and the hype that they brought onto the world was a marked difference from what Franco Luambo Makiadi and Kabasele were doing. So they came up with a fairly hip style, which of course can easily be linked to the modern soukous. So they came and defied the order. They came and did something that was slightly different, or defied, if you will, from what the other artists were doing. Of course, because these guys are going to school, so they will do a bit of fusion, putting Cuban songs into the African rhythm and so on, and therefore their music became very, very popular. For example, the song Paquita was done in French and Spanish, and it was a very serious departure from the typical African rhythm as we know it. Now, unfortunately, they did not stay together for long. Tabuley, Rochereou, and Dr. Nico, they went their separate ways, and of course, Tabuley named his band African Fiesta Nacional, while Dr. Nico remained with African Fiesta Sukisa. So that was the point of departure. But then, of course, Tabuley still continued doing his own things, recruited artists here and there, and in 1970 he rebranded his band to L'Orchestre Afriza International. L'Orchestre Afriza International, and of course that was just in line with him trying to reach out to the international market to start with, but also because he had come up with his own recording label called Edition Issa, and so that's why he wanted to do something a bit different, a bit international, and so he developed more up-tempo kind of music, brought many people on board, and that is Lokasa ya Mongo. Thank you, and may God rest his soul in eternal peace. So Tabu brought a much more modern style, ultra tempo, some fast tempo. If you listen to songs like Pons Pilet, done in 1977, it already had a very futuristic look. So he innovated, he created new things, new sounds. Of course, he was also very strong vocally speaking, a very serious composer, and he was not afraid of trying out new things, including bringing females on board. If you talk about Bilia Bell, for example, he brought her on board, and of course she helped to bring his career to another level. He also brought Fire Tess and her sister, I forget her name, and so he was always trying out new things, and it worked very well for him. But we must say that he brought a new style. That's what we must say. His compositions, and he really believed in himself, in his vocals. He sang very, very well, because he fell out with Mobutu Sese Seko when he was the president of the Zaire, then that was then renamed as the Democratic Republic of Congo. In fact, exactly in 1988 is when he left his own country and went to France. So throughout the 90s, he, of course, stayed abroad, but then, of course, he came back to his country in the 2000s, but he fell sick. He had a stroke that paralyzed him, or that actually took his life. He passed on, like I told you, on the 30th of November 2013 in a hospital in Brussels, Belgium. So there is so much that can be said about Tabu Ley, Rochereau. All that I want to do is just to give you a very quick translation of this song, Kafful Mayay. And this song basically talks about domestic violence, that a woman is tired of a husband who has been battering her and who does not appreciate whatever it is that she does for him. So the song is Kafful Mayay. So the persona in the song is a woman. She starts by saying Kivananga na kembeka. And you know, mbeka can be viewed in two ways. Mbeka is actually a boundary that you've been pushed to the edge. So mbeka is a boundary, but it can also mean that it's a place, a physical place called mbeka. Nakembeka, so I have gone, or I'm going to Mbeka, or I have reached my very last patience. You've actually pushed me to the boundaries. It all depends on how you want to interpret. Nakomi kozonga mboka mpo ete mobali ya nyokolinga. You know what? I have decided to go back home. Why? Because my husband, Anyokolingai, is harassing me. You know, he's mistreating me. Yeah, she says, you know what? I will go. Nazongi mboka baboti mpo mobali atungisinga. I'm going back to my parents because my husband is torturing me, is harassing me, is mistreating me. Nakimi Soni, I'm running away from shame. Tala mama likambo basalinga. Look at what they have done to me, mama. Ngai mwana mama. Me, the daughter of my mother. Butu tolalate mama. At night we don't sleep. Mobali seko beta kanga. My husband always just beats me, batters me. Tika lelongana kenda. So please let me go. Pasi eleki na motema. There is so much pain in my heart. Soki na landina kokufa. If I continue following this man, I will die. Soki na landina kokufa. Nakopalangana te elengi ya libala. You know, I'm not going to change my mind or because of you know, the sweetness of marriage. You know, I've decided that I'm going. I'm not going to change my mind. I say the same thing. Kivanangana Kembeka. You know what? I'm going to Mbeka. I'm going to a place called Mbeka. Nakeimbeka. I'm going to Mbeka. Oh, my heart. I'm going to Mbeka. Nakomona nyoso mpoba boti balokinga. Am I going to see all this because I was bewitched by my own parents? What? Nanzoto nako kondama. You know, I am emaciated. Mobali seko finga kanga. You know, my man always, my husband always just abuses me. Biloko nakolia eko kitate. You know, even the food that I eat does not get into my stomach. Nasomo ya mobali ayako kumanga, because of, you know, the shame that my husband is again coming to trouble me. Ngonzambe nakokamwa. You know, God, I am very surprised. Libala ya kopesa mawa Mayay. You know, this marriage that only brings sadness. Kolamba na kolamba ma. You know what? I cook for the man. Ndako na kokombo Mayay. I sweep the house. Mpe na bilamba na kosukola. His clothes I wash. Nyoso akosenga na kobongisa. Everything that he asks of me, I do. Ngonzambe na lembi komema. But now, you know, I'm tired of carrying all this. Libala ya kozanga bolingo. This love, this marriage that does not have love. Motema mokobanga ma. You know what? My heart is afraid. I'm not able to see that word, but she must be saying something about a marriage that does not work very well. Oh, motema ngana kembeka. You know what? My heart, I'm going back to Mbeka. Motema itondi passing, but he's saying it, I think, in Kikongo, that my heart is full of peace, or is full of heart and pain. So again, that I'm not, because it's not sung in Lingala, so I can't quite translate that as well. Pardon me. Oh, motema, oh, my heart. Kaul May. So this is the name of a person. Kaul May. 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 That's actually the lead vocalist is actually Tabu Ley himself. Kafful May. maybe Manu Dibango, I'm not sure. Ah.
Kafful Mayay, 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 Kafful Mayay.
Lokasa ya Mbongo. Is that Mayay on the drums? If you're watching this channel for the first time, please subscribe. Again, I can't translate that because it's not done in Lingala. Thank you very much for watching.